Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen of that humble internet. My name is Ryan, aka the Ryan Man. Welcome back to Winds of Change. In this episode, we are apparently doing everyone's final heart-to-hearts, which reminds me, I've been doing this all in one sitting. I have not saved in a while. This was the last time I saved this part of the story. So yeah, definitely make sure that we are... I am slightly corrupt now. Okay. Huh. Interesting. We're up to 30% morale. That's great. We're all still going to die. I don't know what order to do this in. I suppose we can start this shindig off with Sylvie. Let's do this loyalty scene. Where the fuck? Oh, this is just gonna take us... Okay, I thought we were gonna... Everyone was gonna have a shindig around the war table, but... Okay. This is new. Sylvie leads me to a boat and takes me on a short voyage. I have no idea where we're going, and our destination surprises me. It's not a place I have seen on any map. It looks unlike anything I've seen before. I follow behind him, unsure of where I'll even end up. After a while, he turns to face me, and I ask him for an explanation. I trusted him enough to follow him here, but I had my limits.
I know that we're almost at the end, Monarch. It won't be much longer before we arrive on Baltean soil. So, it only makes sense that I show you where everything began.
Like an old fisher village? He gestures broadly at everything behind him.
I come from this backwater town, born and raised. It was wiped off the map after all the villagers were murdered. Given time, it might have even become the 5th nation of Alestia.
Huh.
But that was long ago, and nobody remembers this place. My parents were in charge of the area. They were incredibly wealthy. They had a force of men working the mines, cheap labor, and big profits.
Seems like Sylvie was finally opening up to me. This was important. I needed to know that he could be trusted. And if things went well, his loyalty to our cause would be confirmed.
As their son, they had me oversee all of this labor. It was my job to make sure everybody hit their goals. I performed admirably, and put my foot down when needed.
He walks towards a nearby house and puts his hand on it. Taking a loud breath, I can tell he's reliving unpleasant memories.
Everything was going well. Until the truth
Until the Fire
came out.
Nation attacked.
The people who raised me weren't my parents. Not even close. They killed my parents while I was an infant and took over this town.
Oh!
Raising me as their own, our relationship was built on a lie. I was serving killers and usurpers. When I found out, I felt nothing but rage. They stole this land and the lives of its rightful rulers. Such an injustice.
The hand he was resting on the house slowly turns into a clenched fist.
I don't know what came over me, to be honest. I killed everybody. My so-called parents and all of the workers.
And not just the men,
by those who swore
but the
they
women
loved me.
and the children!
I couldn't take it. By rule of inheritance, in that moment, this town became mine. But there was nobody else, and I was all by myself. I no longer wanted to live. I took myself to the cliff's edge and thought about throwing myself into the ocean.
Turns back to face me. and I can see how sad he really is.
That's when Ulrich found me. He made sure I didn't do anything stupid. I don't know how he came across me when he did. I thought it could be Providence. But he saved me, and I told him everything. Instead of scolding me, he praised me. I was shocked. I expected to be dragged to the nearest prison. But he took me right to the Triumvirate and told them my story. That's when they wanted me to become his apprentice. I accepted. My desire for justice was something they wanted on their side. But I no longer fought for my home village. I fought for all of Alestia. I swore an oath to them that I would always fight for the rulers of this world.
Till it found out they were supers themselves.
At the time, I believed it was them. But learning the truth of the monarchy, it just opened old wounds. I saw the Triumvirate in a new light, much like I saw my so-called parents. Once more, the desire for justice rose to the forefront of my mind. You may think my allegiance changed and that it was a sudden shift, but it's not true. I've always fought for the same thing. It's just that sometimes the tables need a little turning.
Tables did not just turn, the table flipped. He crosses his arms and seems to be done talking for now. He leads me further into the village, and I follow, trusting him more. We eventually end up at a large building, one that served as the town hall.
You may notice the bloodstains, but don't worry. I threw all the bodies off a cliff with Ulrich. You won't be seeing anything gruesome, I can assure you.
What an odd way to put my mind at ease.
This is where my parents lived. I was never really allowed in. I guess I should stop calling them my parents. They were more like captors. I longed to see the world, but I obeyed them out of a feeling of loyalty. I slaved away. Sometimes I'd sneak into my father's office and peel the stamps off of his letters.
You and the stamps.
They were incoming letters, so it's not like they had any use. I started to collect them. I stuck them to my bedroom wall and told myself that one day I'd go and see those places. One day, I wanted to be free.
He lets out a loud sigh.
I thought I was free when the Triumvirate took me in. But it turns out I just traded one form of bondage for another. Shackles moved from my wrists to my heart. I don't know which is worse.
He holds a hand close to his heart.
They pressed the blade against my chest and gave me some of its power. It allowed me to use it as my own, and gave me what they deemed eternal life. Ulrich grew to see this as an awful curse, but I embraced it. And to this day, I still do.
Eternal... So you're also probably, like, just wicked old, then.
I see myself as a defender. I want to protect the reign of Alestia's true rulers. If the monarchy is restored to power, I will protect you, and all of your descendants. You have my word, and you know why I served the enemy. My virtue was simply misplaced.
My descendants with who? I think we really need to verify that.
But now, it rests with you, the true heir to the throne of Alestia. And that is where it shall remain, as long as I've proven my loyalty to you. Knowing everything that you do you trust me to protect you in battle?
You know what? Sure. Why not? You've earned it. Sure. Why not? I mean, this would seem like a awful lot of trouble to go through for another lie, so fuck it. I trust you.
Thank you very much, Monarch. I knew I picked the right way to tell you the truth. If we did this anywhere else, it might have fallen flat.
You know what? I think that's why I went with trusting you, because you could have done the whole thing like, oh yeah, I totally was from another village. No, you literally fucking dragged me there. Sure, okay, you're cool. You're in with the group. Get in, loser. We're storming the beaches of Normandy. He smiles, and I can tell he's extremely relieved.
I needed to get this off my chest before our attack on Balteus. Not knowing whether I had your trust, it was too much. We're comrades now, though, and I'm no longer worried.
Yay! With that, it seems like our business here is done. The choice to trust me with his past and confide in me meant a lot. None of my comrades had to carry their burdens alone. We were in this together.
Let's get back to Mazeo, all right? I'm sure there's lots to do before the end. Thanks for joining me, but I think we need to leave.
Right. We start walking back the way we came and head to our boat. This place was wiped off the map. I had no idea that it existed. Makes me wonder just what else this world could be hiding. Before we get on the boat, I look back at the town one last time. After the war was over, maybe we could rebuild this place and grow it. A new nation with new rules. If we had the opportunity, we should seize it. We start to sail away and leave this place behind us for now. But I know Sobi better than I did before, and that can only bring good. He was carrying a weight on his shoulders, and it was no longer there. Ba-boom! You have earned Sovi's loyalty. Neat! Who next? You know, she's gonna have to go last. Okay. Let's see Pro's thing. Okay, Pro. Shoot your shot. Pro leads me to Mazeo's town square without saying much. I'm not sure what's going on, but he seems happier than usual. Things must be going well for him. I hope it's something good. After a while, he rests his back against a nearby house. Tapping his foot, it looks like he's waiting for something.
Okay, Monarch, you're not going to believe this. I got some information about my parents the other day. After pulling a few strings, I was able to set up a meeting.
Are you fucking serious with me right now? Is this for real? Your loyalty thing is you're meeting your parents. I've got to meet this. This is actually a huge deal. I'm kind of legit happy for them, unless they turn out to be massive pricks.
As far as I know, it's just my dad. I think my mom was under the weather or something.
Or
At
dead.
this point, I'll take whatever I can get. I'm so excited.
And he just can't hide it, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
finally get to ask him what happened. Do you think I have any brothers or sisters? Wait, don't answer that. I'll keep my hopes low.
Okay, because if you do, there's a chance you might have fucked one of them when you were all out at a bar and you didn't know you were all related. He has a huge smile on his face, and I can understand why. This is something he's been looking forward to his entire life. The ability to meet his parents and find out why they abandoned him.
I almost don't believe this is happening. For the last decade, I've had eyes and ears everywhere. People run around Mazeo gathering information for me to sell.
I'm calling it now. You can call me a massive dick, and I hope I'm proven wrong. But I'm kind of calling a Joe Dirt situation. Go watch that movie, by the way.
I prefer to do all the work myself, but anything extra is a huge benefit. I'm good at selling, so they provide the info, and then we share the profit. When we got back from Alarencia, one of them had a bunch of stuff to share. And one of them was the one piece of information I've been waiting to hear. My parents were alive and living in Mazeo all those years, and they were so close. I bought the information from him myself. I paid more than I have for anything else in my life. But you can't put a price on this kind of stuff, you know? My future and my heart is on the line. This is a big deal. I hope we don't have to wait too much longer. I'm nervous.
Okay, breathe, wipe the blood off your face and spit out your gum. That much was made evident by his constant rambling. I press my back against the wall with him, and we wait together. We talk about random subjects, anything to pass the time for now. It's like, hey, did you know Sylvie has a big stamp collection? But after a while, finding topics to discuss becomes a little harder. That's not because our bond is weak, but because we've run out of topics. The time of meeting approached, and then faded away. Nobody arrived.
I guess he's running a bit late. It happens. I can't hold it against him.
Oh no. Oh no, this is actually becoming worse than a Joe Dirt situation. Oh. Oh no. He smiles, and it's an incredibly nervous smile. He knows deep down inside that his words may not be true. A couple more hours pass, but I don't abandon his side. Not even once. Not even to pee.
Any moment now.
Oh, fuck me religiously and softly to kiss from a rose. This is actually worse than a Joe Dirt situation, because in my head it was playing out that, oh, the parents are just scumbags. It's worse, but it's worse than that. Either he was just lied to, and there's really no one, or they're even such worse scumbags than I thought that they're not even bothering to show. Oh no. After a while, we slump down and sit on the ground. His naive hope starts to dissipate into a harsh realization, but I can tell he doesn't want to admit it, so we continue to sit. As the sun sets, people start to retreat to their homes. I can tell that he's tired, and so am I. I close my eyes for a few moments. But it wouldn't hurt to doze off for a little bit. Just need to make sure I don't leave him. I awaken a while later, unsure of the time, but it's dark. It must be the dead of the night. Pearl rests beside me, snoring softly, asleep. I know that in his slumber, he doesn't have to face the facts. His dad never came. But why? Was he too afraid to follow through? Pearl has a smile on his face. I can tell that he's still hopeful, even in sleep. But he can't sleep forever. He needs to wake up and face this. Giving him a soft nudge, he wakes up. But then my heart is broken. He thinks I woke him up because his dad arrived. He looks around, ecstatic. Then he realizes that it's just me and him. His ears fold back, and he laughs, almost like he's not surprised. I knew that this would be hard for him to face, but he was abandoned again.
I guess I should have expected this.
He sighs and crosses his arms.
You know, I thought I'd give them the option. They could come meet me when they were ready and willing. Other than that, my only option was to just march into their home.
We probably should have kicked the door in.
Of course, my courtesy just ends up stabbing me in the back. He said he'd be here, Monarch. He said he would. And I trusted him!
He growls and punches the nearby wall in a fit of rage.
It's not fair!
Somewhere in the background, Vin Diesel is just stepping out from the shadows, sad and disappointed. Like, oh, family. He grunts in pain and stands there, panting. A few tears start to stream from his eyes.
Why don't they love me?
I can't sit here and make fun of this. Clace, what have you written? I step forward and place a comforting arm on his shoulder. He starts crying a bit more, but I let him know that I'm here for him.
I just wanted a family. More than anything, I want to belong. It hurts so much. They don't want me.
You know what? You know what? All the shit of him betraying, like, the rebellion, selling secrets. Fuck it. Suddenly hearing this grown man voice act an upset dog, putting a sad dog in front of me on camera, suddenly a fuck was given. You know what Pro, back on that ship, you wanna know what I said? I'm remembering it now. Fuck them. Fuck them. Rusty pole. Jaded on edges. Blood don't mean shit if it's toxic. Fuck that saying you can't pick your family. Yes, you fucking can. I have friends in real life that I consider my actual fucking brothers and sisters. Family. Get Vin Diesel out here right now. He will tell you. Family. The triumvirate is strong, but not as strong as family. Fuck them. Where are your family? I'm getting upset because you put a fucking sad dog in front of me, Clace.
I want to know why they threw me away. It's all I've ever wanted to know. That's why I do what I do. I don't know if I can live the rest of my life without knowing the truth.
Yes, you can, cuz fuck him. He starts to calm down, and soon enough, the tears fade. I can tell he's super conflicted. He really wants to meet his parents. But if they don't want to meet him, there's really nothing he can do. It was cruel to schedule a meeting and then not follow through. His dad must have gotten cold feet, or maybe his mother needed attention. Under the weather could have been any number of meanings. Not many of them good. Either way, it's evident that this pursuit of the truth is causing him more harm than not. If he wasn't meant to know the truth, then perhaps he should focus on moving forward. After all, he had a loving family in the rebellion. We would never abandon him like this.
I just don't know what I should do.
Fuck him! We're your family now. I'm your brother now. Fuck him! Fuck the code. I tell him to let go of his parents. We're his family now. Blood isn't what makes you family. I feel like this is a goddamn Vin Diesel commercial. I don't know. Fast and Furious 7. Oh, God. Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious. If his parents wouldn't give him that, then perhaps he should be abandoning them.
Let them go?
Fuck him, dude. Jesus. He seems surprised, like nobody has ever suggested this to him before.
I know, you're right. I've tried, but it's really hard. What happened here today might change things, though. After everything I've tried, maybe this is the wake-up call I needed.
Let's hopefully not go die in a ward, and then, I don't know, then we'll bust down their door.
Thanks Monarch.
Stop calling me that. Oh, he smiles at me. I'm glad I could help him, even if it's only a little bit.
So, should we get going then? I guess you have a lot of things to do. Given that, I'm really glad that you came with me. I don't know how I would have handled this alone.
You would not have.
Having you by my side, it makes me stronger. And if there's anything I need right now, it's strength.
Right now, I think we need body armor and guns. Okay. With that, we start to walk away from the town square. It pained me to see him go through this. Nobody should feel abandoned. But at the end of the day, he had people like me to stand by his side and help. So no matter what happened, he'd never be alone. Hot, a diggity, a dog. Who's next? Well, if we did Pro, I guess now we do Ulrich. And then Domik, and then Howl, and then Fortime, and then Veles. Okay. Ulrich. Let's do this. How long could this be? I think this is probably going to be a fucking hour-long episode. Just we're going to get this heart-to-heart stuff done and over with. Like, what is my current actual time here? Hold on a second. Okay. We're not too bad yet. Not yet. Okay. I stand alone in my room, swinging the blade from side to side. Like an idiot. Everything feels different than it did back at the start of my journey. When I first touched the blade, I could barely even hold on to it. But now, I'm starting to master it. I'm able to make it my own. However, just as I think that, the blade disappears from my hand and is going to reappear in Ulrich's! Ulrich laughs and I turn around. I didn't even notice him come in.
Sorry, it's just an old prank I used to pull on Sobi. I'd take the blade from him when he least expected it. I guess it has a time and place. Sorry if I startled you.
It's fine, I guess. Please don't do that in the final battle. He swings the blade a few times before handing it back to me. I shake my head. He didn't startle me. It was actually kind of funny.
I came here because I assumed you wanted answers.
Plenty.
Learning I was the Grand Inquisitor must have been a shock. I'm glad you have a clear head. You could tell that I've changed.
I nod.
But you deserve to know what I was like before I changed. In order to hide from my past, I haven't exactly been honest. But I wasn't lying to you. It was more like I was lying to myself.
Aren't we all? In a way, it sort of makes sense. I just decide to let him talk. He approaches me and sits down on the bed. I sit beside him.
There was a man named Ulrich in Alarinthian legend. He pledged to change the nation, just like I always have. The barbaric way of running things was too much for him to bear.
Oh, what? There was an Ulrich of legend. So was I just completely wrong about you being wicked old?
A lot of the specific details have been lost to time, but it goes like this. He was young, and his parents wanted the same thing, so they fought for it. They died in the arena, and Ulrich couldn't handle it. He ran away from the nation. But he pledged to return one day, and change Alarinthia for good. The ideals passed on to him by his parents still live on to this day. That's likely what inspired Vivian to launch his own insurrection.
That failed.
Of course, the story that's handed down is never really the truth. To put it bluntly, I'm the same Ulrich. It's been so long, it's hard to believe. I'm sure you had your suspicions, so I just came here to confirm them for you.
Do you know what you have done? You have literally come in here and you've proven me right. You've proven me right on something that was obvious, so it's not like it was much of an accomplishment. But still, I don't need that ego boost. It's actually a bit hard to believe, but I let him continue.
My parents hated the way the nation was run. They passed that hatred down onto me as I grew up. But they got older. Before too long, they were decrepit. They could never change anything. So the burden was passed on to me, a rising star in the Colosseum. I never fought for leadership, just regular tournaments, but I never lost. One day, I guess the Triumvirate noticed how strong I was. They approached me. They told me that if I left Alarinthia behind, they'd train me. They'd give me the power to return one day and change everything. I was young and naive. I agreed without hesitation. I wanted to serve our gods. But before they accepted me, I had to prove that I was truly ready. Serving them would involve leaving everything behind. It'd be a fresh start. They devised a test for me, to make sure that I was truly ready to devote myself.
He gulps like he's afraid to tell me what happened next. What, did they stab you with a blade?
They made me kill my parents.
Ooh. I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh. I'm not laughing because I think it's funny. I'm laughing because, oh my god, that is... I've never done a nervous laugh. I've never done a fucking nervous laugh in my entire life. But I need to scooch away. I'm scooching away in my chair. I'm on wheels. Oh god. They made you kill your fucking parents. Holy fucking fuck. Are you serious? Are you fucking serious? And you were okay with this? This is the world we live in. We are here now. Okay, moving on so that this isn't a 2-hour-long episode. He looks down at the floor.
In their eyes, it told them that I was truly ready to leave my old life behind. Because I was young and stupid, it made a twisted kind of sense in my head. I did what they told me to. But as they died, I told them I was making their dream a reality.
Right.
I was caught and exiled into the desert. That's how I became a Sixer. I survived the trials, was branded with this tattoo, and showed my worth. Their test was over. They took me over to Balteus and made me their servant. I served them by weeding out insurrections and ensuring they remained in power. After what seemed like an eternity, they came up with the idea of giving me an apprentice. That's when I met Sobi. They preyed on his weakness and naivety much like they did mine. We worked together, traveling the world and killing the Triumvirate's enemies. Eventually, I realized that they weren't good people.
Eventually.
And joined the rebellion. If the timeline seems confusing, it's because it is. We are talking about millennia here.
Jesus Christ. He's lived for a millennia?
They gave us the gift of immortality. Well, they called it a gift. We would never succumb to old age, and mortal wounds would easily fade. I felt unstoppable, like I was the king of the world. Nothing could get in my way.
He shrugs, clearly embarrassed at admitting such a fact.
But after a while, I realized it was a curse. It's crazy how much your perspective can shift so fast. Taking the dream of immortality into real life, it became a nightmare.
With a slight scoff, he stands up and turns around to face me.
They knew what they were doing. They were creating slaves. Using that blade, they gave us what they deemed eternal life. I know we can use the blade too, but we can't reverse it. That should have been the first sign. I thought we did this willingly, but we really had no choice. It was all or nothing, an ultimatum. The biggest red flag. I've had this curse for far too long. It's made me a bad person. I no longer seek love, because everybody I love is just lost to time. I no longer seek happiness, because it's never permanent. Never. These fleeting emotions may mean a lot to you, but not me. It's an endless cycle of building myself up only to be cut back down. I thought I'd be like this until the world rotted away. Until I met you, that is.
Oh God. He smiles. Oh God, no.
Now there's somebody else who can use the blade. Somebody to lift this curse and give me my life back. My life belongs to your cause, Monarch, not theirs. So please, give me that life. Then, after that, I can give it to you.
I could remove the curse the charmer put on him. That would be good, but then he'd be weak and vulnerable. No doubt the source of his strength is partly due to his immortality, though I have also really never seen this man get mortally wounded, but whatever. If I remove it, he could perish during an attack on Balteus, and easily, but I think he would actually prefer that. It would be removing his biggest advantage, and I'm not sure what to do. He looks at me, awaiting my response. I don't know what to say next. After everything he literally just fucking told me, this really seems like be a decent human being, which they don't have humans in this world, so I can understand why they wouldn't expect a human to act that way, or be a dick. Remove the curse. I tell him I'll remove the curse. His face lights up like I've never seen before.
Thank you. So much.
I missed what that achievement was. I grabbed the blade and tried to figure out what to do. One thing was for sure, he'd soon have his life back. He would have the freedom to grow old and finally find peace. And before he leaves my room, I make sure his dream becomes a reality. Okay. All right. I mean, I guess. Who did I say was next? Dominic, right? Yeah. Let us view Dominic's loyalty scene. Dominic leads me... Oh, make sure that I... Yeah, okay. Dominic leads me to the town square of Mazeo. Because of our recent conversations, I know what's going on. He's taking me to the spot where he lost his mother during the occupation. Oh, God. For those of you who aren't aware of that, he was buried under a mound of bodies, including his mother. It was metal as fuck. It must be hard on him. I can see him shaking as we walk through the town. But if facing this painful memory helped him move on, it was my duty to assist him. In the coming storm, he needed to be resolute. Helping him would help all of us.
I can't thank you enough for coming with me, Monarch. There's not many people I trust this much. I'm really glad I have you. Until today, I've only had dreams about doing this. But now, I'm strong enough.
You have no choice but to be strong enough, friend, because tomorrow we are all going to die.
And honestly, it's all because of you. I give a little credit to my near-death experience, but not all of it. You've grown into a capable leader.
Have I?
And led us all down the right path.
Have I? He smiles and I smile back at him. It was nice to receive some support after all we've been through. Being the monarch wasn't very easy, but it's a weight I had to carry. We walk through the town square, taking back alleys for occasional shortcuts. After a while, we end up at a large open area. I'm surprised they haven't built shops here.
This is where town meetings are held. They don't happen very often, but they need a big open space. There's a lot of people in Mazeo, so everyone deserves a chance to attend.
Okay. Soon after that, however, his tone becomes more serious.
A lot of bodies in one place. That's just what they needed during the occupation. This is where it happened, Monarch. The stuff with my mother.
I nod at him as we take steps closer towards the center.
You may notice a crimson tint on the ground here. This is where they piled the bodies during the attack. So much blood. So much carnage. Permanently stained.
There ain't nothing fucking getting that stain out of the carpet.
Just like the memories in my head. As hard as I try, I can't just scrub those off either. Every other night, I wake up in a cold sweat. Crying.
Can't really fucking blame you.
I feel the lingering touch of her hand against mine. Then, the moment she goes away, it makes me feel empty inside. There's nothing left to feel, except all those corpses pressed against me. A warmth that slowly dissipates, leaving me cold and alone. I had to stay under them until things died down. Almost a whole day. The moment I could, I got out and took her pendant along with me. It's all I have to remember her by, but perhaps that's why I can't let it go. How can you move on from something when you remind yourself of it every day? Just the thought, of course. But after all I've been through, at least it's a thought with merit.
He holds up his hand and shows me the pendant he's holding. I've seen that a few times now. He seems to carry it with him everywhere. Of course, as he suggested, that also means he carries the memory along with them.
Let's keep moving. I'll show you exactly where it happened. Just stay close to me, okay? This is hard.
Mm-hmm. I nod and start to follow him as we venture deeper into the open area. The podium rests at the center, likely where they'd hold these meetings from. Soon I picture what this place would look like during the occupation. I cringe. After a while, Dominic stops dead in his tracks and looks down at the ground. His body language and reaction tells me this is exactly where his trauma happened. I position myself right beside him and wait for him to speak. I couldn't rush him now.
Well, this is it.
That sniff felt genuine, my guy. He clutches the pendant close to his chest.
Would you sit with me, Monarch? We might be here for a while after all.
He sits down on the ground, attracting stares from a few passerbys. They can fuck off. I join him, carrying him more for his well-being than the judgment of those around us. Looking down at the ground, he places the pendant down and moves it around slightly.
It was right here, I think. You never really forget, you know. I hope it's not weird to sit here with me.
I literally, the day before, sat with Pro for how long? In the dark? We could have been stabbed? This is fine. I shake my head and let him do what he needs to do.
Coming here to face what happened. I needed to do this. But now I'm not sure what to do next. I mean, with the pendant. Do I leave it behind? Just like my memories, or do I hold on?
It sounds to me like your memories are slowly killing you, dude, and kinda needs your head in one decent solid place for this fight we're going towards. I mean, let's think of it this way. We're not fighting for your past. What you're marching towards is fighting for a future where this shit doesn't fucking happen again. That was a good question, and I could tell it's bothering him.
I'm sure someone will just come around and steal it anyway. But maybe that's for the best. It can be somebody else's burden. I think I've grown tired of carrying it around for my entire life.
Dude, I think you just answered your own question then.
However, I also don't want to regret doing this. I could be acting rashly in the face of our final battle. It wouldn't be the first time somebody has done that, you know.
I nodded and let him speak.
Look at me. The world is at stake, and I'm worried about this. You know what? With everything you've done for us, I trust you. What do you think I should do, Monarch? Take it or leave it? Besides, I'm a bit biased here in almost every regard. Your head is more clear than mine, so it's worth a shot. What do you think I should do here? What's the right choice?
Leave it. I mean, it's not like you're ever going to actually forget about your mother, but... So, dude, just move... We move on. I think your mother would want you to leave it behind if she knew it was... Carrying it was actually causing you physical pain.
You're right. I think this is something I need to do. It'll be hard, but I need to move on. I can't hold myself back. We're fighting to liberate our world and push forward, right?
Right!
It's a bit hypocritical for me to do the opposite to myself. I hope whoever picks it up goes on to take good care of it. It means a lot to me, and I hope it can do that for others too.
Oh, pardon for the yawn. It's getting close to like 1 o'clock in the morning for me. He places his hand on the pendant, touching it one last time.
It's time for me to let go, Mother. This was always yours. I was just holding on to it for a while. I'll miss you always, but your sacrifice for me will never be forgotten.
It already sounds like you're getting better, dude. He smiles and lets go of the pendant. It shimmers in the sun. We both stand up and turn back in the direction we came from.
Well then, should we get going?
Sure. Okay, doing that has also earned... I wonder if I just earned their loyalty regardless? Like, this is just... Like, it's optional to do this final heart-to-heart? And no matter what the choice I pick, they're just going to be loyal for going through all their side conversations? I wonder if it makes the endings slightly different then. But Dominic looks much happier and content than he did earlier. Perhaps the events of today will give him a clear mind in the future. So our final battle was imminent. We would find out sooner rather than later.